If a seller's unwilling to show you this, run. It's one thing to buy real estate, another thing to never lose it. These are things you should check for in due diligence.
If your goal is to lose a bunch of money in real estate, then skipping these steps is a really great idea. If not, like and subscribe here and watch this video. I'm Christian, this is Cody, this is Multifamily Strategy, and here we go.
When you're buying a piece of real estate, before you buy it, you need to actually verify what you're looking at. It's one thing to trust somebody, but you should trust and verify. When we're going to buy something, we need to verify the income. We do that through a couple means. Bank statements. You can get a bank statement and an imaging report that'll show every check that's ever been deposited to the bank. If a seller is unwilling to show you this, run.
Yeah, and that's the most important one. So we're going to start right there on the bank statements. It is the hardest one to fake. If you can just see an actual scan of actual checks that match all the other numbers you've been given, that is the most important piece, and it's the one that I see skipped the most. I'll see people get all the way through a deal, they fall in love with the deal emotionally. They go, I have to close this. This is my big opportunity. The seller tells them, well, I don't have all the bank statements. We're still putting together some books. They waive feasibility, they close, and they find out that all the numbers were a lie. And I've seen this happen again and again and again. Maybe the most common mistake in any real estate transaction after you get it like under contract and negotiated, because I see a lot of mistakes there. But as soon as it's like live, that is the piece that is missed, and it is the single most important part of due diligence.
Now, something else that we want to take a look at for number 2, Estoppel Letters. It's cool to be able to trust an owner, but I want to get word from the tenant. An Estoppel certificate is where the tenant signs off saying, this is my rent, this is my security deposit, this is when I moved in, these are my lease terms. I want to know from them. I want them to sign it. That way I can go to the owner and say, hey, look, they said the deposit's $900. You said it was $200. What's up? Because some owners are going to try and run away with the deposits and say, sue me, which will take too much time, too much money to actually go after them for the deposits. Don't skip this step.
And another thing that you're going to do, and this is how you verify all of it, is you start with the owner's books. You're going to get at least what's called a T6. I like a T12 where I can see the whole year. But I really want to see what's been happening in the last 3 to 6 months. What they're saying in their books that we're basing all of our decisions off. So we're going to verify that with the Estoppel Letters and with the bank statements. But I want like an original piece of paper that says, I, the owner, believe that this is the number that I'm bringing in and the real expenses for my property.
Now on a T6 or a T12, the T stands for trailing. You're looking at the trailing 6 or the trailing 12 months of income and expenses. The nice magical number in accounting is 0. So all their numbers should add up and reconcile with the bank statements. They should also reconcile with the Estoppel Letters based on what the tenant is saying they're paying. Everything should subtract out and equal 0. If it doesn't, you know that something was not given to you correctly.
There are tons of deals that have problems, and you're going to make the decision on whether it's a problem that you're comfortable with solving. There may be a problem with the books, but you can back it with an Estoppel letter and enough bank statements to go like, okay, I see where the offage is. We either need to renegotiate or I'm willing to close with the knowledge that this little piece is off. A great example is we just closed on a deal where we had a fantastic T12. We had Estoppel letters signed and fully filled out by everyone, and we lined up the bank statements. Problem was, when they went to give us the leases, they actually didn't have any. They only had the rental applications. That's a huge problem, and that is a big piece of due diligence, is I want to see the leases. However, we had enough with the other 3 pieces where we're comfortable with a small building and the property management company we have to go, hey, Washington State especially, you really want to get people in the correct termed leases. We're going to deal with the problem. We have enough pieces to put it together. The first step we had was calling the tenants and saying, hey, we have all your details. We'd like to keep you at your current rate, and we'd like to get you into a current lease with the property management company. Everyone's comfortable with this, problem solved. But you need to know what the problems are so you know what you're willing to handle and what you're able to fix.
Now, due diligence doesn't just ensure that you're going to have a really smooth ride. We did all of our due diligence on a 12-plex, and within 1 month, we had 10 vacancies. People got scared of new ownership, and poof, they were gone. So now we have 2 people that are paying their rent and 10 empty units.
I love those 2 people.
Yeah, they're very nice. They help pay our taxes. But that is about it because there's 10 vacancies. So when you're buying real estate, it's one thing to do great due diligence, but that doesn't mean you're going to have a solid investment. So make sure you trust people, you verify it, but you also have reserves and or cash flow so that you can weather the storm when things don't go perfect.
Because there's lots of variables. So that's a good example of we did all the due diligence, we did it correctly, we had multiple people look through it, and there's still something that happened that absolutely destroyed the income. Now, it's good for us because the rents were really low. We're going to get in with our renovation teams, but if this was our first deal,
that would be bad.
That would be devastating. We're just negative cash flowing a deal. For us, it's great because now we get to increase the value twice as fast. I'm very excited. But when you're doing these, you have to realize that stuff's going to happen out of your control, even with the perfect underwriting. So don't add additional variables that you're not prepared for. And that is what due diligence is for. Control what you can control. That is the number one way to not lose money in any investment.
Speaking of controlling things you can control, to wrap up this video, make sure you hit the like button because you can control that, and that does help us. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next video.